Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Hemingway Jones live fountain pen show, coming to you as I always do each Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Yes, this is our little corner of the internet where we talk about fountain pens, inks, journals, and journaling, and just about anything and everything that's going to keep you inspired. And we have a lot of inspiration tonight, a lot of different things to speak about. We're going to speak about the personality of pens and how they can express different parts of you, different parts of themselves. We're going to speak about the one pen that is everything. It was based on a short I put out this week. I put up a contender, but there's many more. And there's a lot of ideas floating around with that. And just a few comings and goings and different things going on right now in my life. And my life, I mean my journaling, writing, inky life. Not the boring parts of my life. There's a lot of those too. I wouldn't go on and on about banking right now. I don't find it boring, but I feel like you might. So we'll stick to the script and talk about fountain pens and inks and journals. So very good, very good. Uh-oh. Name Like Nobody Else says, don't put baby in the corner of the internet. I love a good Dirty Dancing reference. So well done. You're not in the corner. Well, maybe for this hour, you're in our corner of the internet. Why is it a corner of the internet? I know I've been saying that, but I should probably come up with something new. Is that a cliche? It might be a cliche. I don't like cliches. That's why I say further up the road. No, I don't know. I'm lost, as I often am. But I'm not going to delay tonight. I'm going to get right into the topics. I'm going to show you some stuff and kind of tell you some of the directions we're going in with some new videos. Pretty exciting stuff. I do like to show you which pens I'm using from time to time. They haven't changed a lot. I'm still carrying my Fillmore. I've decided to put my Pilot Custom Urushi back in this case. It had its own case, but I was leaving it home too much and missing it. It still has Konpeki in it, which I really like. And then I have my Pelican. I'm caught on the P's. Pelican M1000 with Meiji no Iro. This is a fun pen to use. And lastly, in this case, my what's wrong with me? Montblanc 149 with a fine nib and autumn oak ink. I've been using these quite a bit. So the Karen went away. It was cleaned. It was slightly superfluous because it also had autumn oak ink in it. And between that and the 149, I used up the Karen first, and then I cleaned it and I put it away for a little rest. It was the Reflections of Paris model. So now it is sleeping. Name Like Nobody Else. You are dominating the dialogue from what I can see. Still carrying the big red pen. I am. And there is a video coming out on this very soon. So you'll be very pleased with that. It is the Pilot Custom Urushi. Urushi is such a great material. Evidently, it will last for generations. So much stronger than any sort of petrol-based product. And there's some surprising facts about Urushi that I will reveal in that video. Facts that surprised me. I like to come up with interesting facts and different takes. It's part of my mission here. It's not to give you the same boring videos if you've been bored. I get bored sometimes watching videos, so I don't want to bore you. L. Linman, how are you, my friend? $5 super chat. Thank you so much for entertaining, informing, and growing your channel. Thank you. I am here to do all those three. I appreciate your kind support in helping to keep the lights on. And before I forget, I often forget sometimes if I'm sliding down a certain direction of thought, I might disregard some others, but it's very important to all my friends in the United States of America. Happy Thanksgiving from the bottom of my heart to you. I love Thanksgiving. It's a very quiet day for us. We eat chicken because there's only 3 of us. And a turkey would be superfluous. I have to use that word again. And we don't like to be wasteful, so we get a whole chicken. We get the normal sides, a few others. Apple crisp and not pie because my wife is gluten-free. And it's pretty grand. Feasting is grand. If you don't live in the United States, feast anyway. Find a holiday about now and have a feast. Even if it's just like the start of Christmas season feast. Because it's a nice thing to sit down with people and share some food. In my case, it's my immediate family. So the three of us. And then we go for a hike. There are a lot of hiking trails around here. So we'll go for a nice long walk. And that is our Thanksgiving. I have a video coming up. I taped what I did on Sunday. I thought that would be fun. There was hiking. There was farmer's market. There was a wreath involved. And I hope you like it. I didn't edit it yet, but I will soon. And I'll put that up sometime. I don't know when, but soon. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I appreciate it. Oh, Like a Man does ham. Ham for Thanksgiving. That's interesting. That works. You know, I am German by my background. So it's often been said that you can't have a holiday in my family without a dead pig involved. So ham I can appreciate. In fact, Christmas we used to do sausages and pork loin and sauerkraut and cucumber salad. And that was really grand. And then the place I bought it from went out of business. I'm very sad about that. Carl's Sausage Kitchen. I went to it for over 20 years, almost 30 years, and they are no more. So I have to revamp Porkmas for this year. I'll have to find some pork elsewhere. Hazel, my friend. No meat for me this Thanksgiving, but plenty of veggies. Here's to all the vegetarians. You can still feast. Feast away. Enjoy. I love meat myself. I am a carnivore, but I respect anyone who has discipline. So I want to show you some stuff I got. This looks maybe a little risque, but don't be afraid. This is a family channel. This is for my writer's box, so you can carry it around. Came from Galen Leather, same place the writer's box is from. It's a little handle, slides on. You can tote it about. You will be seeing the writer's box in a grand manner soon. I've written it. I have not filmed it, but I'm thinking about it and I'm excited. I hope you are too. We're going to get into some interesting elements of stationery in the same context as what we already do. Just opening it up a little bit to paper, which I don't do a lot of. I don't do a lot of paper, which is funny, right? Pens and inks and no paper. What was I thinking? Well, I am remedying that. And one of the things I'm doing is picking up the odd paper here and there. I don't even know what I'll do with it, but I picked this up from Galen Leather. You guys know I'm a big fan of Galen Leather. I know them all personally. I love them. They're lovely people. And I didn't tell them I was buying this. I just bought them. So I don't want you to think that they sent it. In this case, I bought it. So a really nice soft cover leather journal in Bordeaux. I quite like Bordeaux. Very nice. This, I forget how much this was, but it was shockingly inexpensive for a leather covered notebook. It says it's 52 grams per meter paper. So I'll try it out. See how it is. Made in Turkey. It's Tomoe River paper, which is brilliant. We'll see how it does once I get around to using it. There's guides to put under the pages. Very nice. I like. So, beautiful packaging. Galen Leather for packaging, one of the best. So, very soft. Does it pass the smell test? It's a fine leather vintage. It smells nice, but it's not demonstrative. It's faint. This one has a faint leathery smell. It's nice. It'd be a nice cologne. It'd intriguing, but not overpowering. So, very nice. I think I haven't written in it yet, but I shall. I promise. So that is coming to the channel. I can't remember how much it was, but I'm thinking it was about $30 in this nice little box. Maybe somebody in the comments knows how much it is and they can look. So E.E. Lineman, who was nice enough with the super chat, thank you. Leather covers for notebooks are a true joy. Are they? Are they? I ask you. Are they? We'll find out. Because I bought one of those too. So I got this, and look, it has my initials. Wait, I'm trying to get it. See, oh, I have to go this way. It's really strange because everything's in reverse. Can you see my initials yet? Oh, you see it? Yes, there. Oh, now we're doing better. Okay. Nice, right? Embossed with my initials. Get this charming reading guy, which, to be honest, it's half the time it's upside down. It kind of bothers me. I'm kind of obsessing over it. I'm not going to show you what I'm working on in here, but it's huge, guys. It's a game changer for the channel. So this is a leather cover in an A5 size from Galen Leather. Has my initials embossed on the front, TJS. Very well done. In kind of like Times New Roman, I think. Really, right? Would you call that Times New Roman? I think so. Well done. It has a charm of some chap reading a book. And it's a red ribbon. I got to choose all this. All the colors and things, which I quite liked. This was also incredibly inexpensive. Compared to Louise Carmen or Paper Republic. Incredibly inexpensive. I think $40 for all this. The inserts I bought from Travelers. I'm not going to show you everything, but I am going to show you this. I'm kind of, you know, I could have done something prettier with the cover, but I took my stamp and I stamped it. And then I took my other stamp that has all the individual letters in sort of an italic, stylized italic high. And I put my name on it, which I'm pretty psyched. And I'm working on something in here. But here's the thing I don't like about these. And I'm going to have a lot of opinions. And by the way, do you have opinions about leather journal covers? I'd like to hear it because I'm going to think about it and I'm going to do a bunch of videos on it. I'm buying a Paper Republic and Helen is getting a Louise Carmen. So we're going to have some fun comparing things and enjoying these, and we're going to use them. Magic patterns, thank you. Very kind. So I have started. You can see a little bit. I've started stuff in here, but I'm not going to show you what because it's kind of a big deal. But one of the things that worries me about these that I don't like, I quite like the Traveler's inserts. Very nice paper so far. When you're done and you take these out, they're just like ugly little notebooks. That's what I don't like. But maybe then that's when you decorate. Maybe that's why folks use stickers and wallpaper and things. So it's coming. Lots of thoughts. So if you have thoughts, put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. I'm more apt to see comments than chats. But either way, I'd love to hear what you think. But isn't it nice? This, of course, will age over time. I've only been carrying it for about 2 days. And I've already started my projects. Can't wait to share with you. But I have to be further along before I do. So, always working, always thinking, always studying, always improving. Trying to. Another thing is I am now unzipping the gorgeous Montblanc case of the Montblanc Egyptomania. I have really leaned into this pen again. I love writing in the Galen leather notebook with this brilliant Montblanc Egyptomania. And I can be very critical of this company, as you know. A lot of their New nibs are really bad, and it's a shame and it's disappointing, but the heritage nibs are often flawless. Flawless victory, as Katana would say. This one is gorgeous. A great writer. I have Den Haag in here for ink. So a beautiful sort of purpley ink. I'm collecting Bordeaux inks, by the way. I got the Bellingham. I didn't like it so much. I tried a new one from a brand I never used before and whose name escapes me. It's like Rome and Braun or Bohm and Hay. I don't know what it is. I totally forgot. But maybe one of you know from that horrible befuddled thought I just gave out to you. But it's Bordeaux, and I'm looking for a Bordeaux like the legendary Montblanc Bordeaux of 20 years ago, which I wish I had more bottles of. I had plenty of them, but I used them all up. And when I go back in my journals over time, as we did a little bit last week, I see that color and it makes me very sad because I wish I could write with it again. So I'm working on it. Proof by Conundrum. Bordeaux is my favorite color family. Well, please do in the comments suggest some Bordeaux's for me. I would appreciate it. Because I'd love to put it in here. Le Mont Blanc, Black Onyx, Douai, Gold Capped, Bohème. That's a little beat up. Well, it's actually not. It's funny. If you look at it, it's not beat up. The reason I call it beat up is that if you tighten it, you see where the nib is? See the nib is straight, pretty straight up and down. And you see this is off to the side. It's just asymmetrical, whereas my ruby one is perfectly lined. So it makes it feel beat up, even though this doesn't have a scratch on it. It doesn't bother me. Maybe it does. I'm pointing it out. Does that mean it bothers me? Well, I notice it anyway, so I feel like I need to tell you. I think everyone out there listening to me needs this pen. Is it fantastic pen that you can't be without? No, it's quite the opposite. It's bizarre. It's sort of awkward and difficult to write with in a hurry because you have to assemble it. But it's charming and it's interesting and it's different. And it's older Montblanc. And I really think older Montblanc is better Montblanc. I really do. And that's kind of the direction I'm heading in with Montblanc. To the used stuff. The older stuff. Mary Madden. Does anyone know where to get a used paper? India, yeah. Bought some at the Commonwealth Pen Show in 2022 and I can't find more anywhere. I have a ton of it. I bought some from, who did I buy it from that had it? Gosh, I can't remember, but I have the one with the shuttlecock on it that I quite like. And I use it in the channel all the time. Mary, it's great paper. You must have Googled it, but there was a fairly big pen supply company that sold it. I'm trying to remember if it was Jet Pens, but somebody, I can't remember. I'll have to try to find my, what do you call it? Receipt. We'll see. Try to find a receipt there. Okay. Let's talk some more stuff. Oh, I wanted to mention the Esterbrook controversy, because remember I mentioned that last week, and I just kind of wanted to advance it a little bit because I've learned some more since then, and it's sort of interesting to me, and it's very inside baseball in the sense that it has more to do with YouTubers who make videos and a company that provides pens. But just to kind of disclose a little more of what I learned. I got a copy of the agreements and the letter that was sent out to them, and I read them both. And I analyzed the agreement from a legal point of view and all that. And I have mixed feelings, to be honest. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I just want to say it. I think the folks that are panicking and saying, like, we're being fired as influencers for Esterbrook are somewhat overreacting. The whole program is changing. So from that point of view, yeah, I could see them feeling that way. But, so they basically changed their whole program. That's what happened. And they're not accepting everyone back. So I guess in that sense, some people might not go back. But if you read it kind of from Esterbrook's point of view, maybe people weren't producing. Maybe they were being sent pens and not making videos, which seems impolite. But I don't feel very comfortable with, I'll send you a pen, make a video. People send me pens and I make videos. So I want to point that out. I mean, point out my own hypocrisies. But I wouldn't give anybody any editorial control in any way. And a lot of brands get mad at me and don't work with me again when I point out obvious criticisms. And I think you know who some of those brands are because you've seen some of the videos. I can't misrepresent anything. I'm not that excited to get a free pen, to be honest. I was when I first started as a YouTuber, because it just seemed so cool that brands would give you stuff. But after a while, you kind of get bored. And worse than getting bored, you almost feel that because you have it, you have to make a video. Maybe you're not inspired to make a video about that pen. So I need to work with a brand where I like them to begin with. I already respect them. And then they give me a choice of what I could do. And then we work out something. So I like working with Gravitas because Ben makes himself completely available. And I can hammer him with really difficult questions. And he loves it. He loves it. Even if you hit him with like, I think this is terrible or something. I actually never rose to that level because nothing he does has in regards to me. But, or some of his challenges with fulfillment. He doesn't get offended. He loves that stuff. He loves to engage. So I just really have to be inspired to do something with a brand and see a narrative. And the ones I speak to, I tell them no editorial input, and it has to have some kind of narrative. If it's just a pen, I have a really tough time with it. So the other side on their new agreement with Esterbrook, it gives Esterbrook all the control. So they can request things back. I guess their whole relationship is through paying with pens. So you get a pen and then you make a video. I guess there's no other compensation. So I think they may have taken away the whole discount code. And I'm spending too much time on this. I'm going to get off of this in a second. But I have mixed feelings about that because discount codes can be abused. I was speaking to some folks who have pen shops and things, and some people who make videos and post things on Instagram and whatnot were taking their discount codes and posting them on forums and saying to people, if you want 10 or 20% off from this company, use this code. And then their code was being used and the company was having to reimburse them a certain percentage. And that's not really what it's for. I mean, I would think it's for, hey guys, you want 10% off at Atlas. I have a code. It'll help you get a pen, which I do for Atlas. I don't make anything on that one at all. I always tell you when I do, and I tell you when I don't. That one is because I love Atlas, and I also want to give you guys discounts. They asked me if I wanted it, and I said no. You guys take really nice care of me. Took such good care of me when we were out in Chicago. I love those guys. So I don't think I would work with Esterbrook under those conditions. So if people didn't decide to enter that program, but I can understand Esterbrook wanting to protect their brand and how it looks out there, and also their discount code. Maybe there's abuse of it. I don't know. I'm extrapolating. So it's more complex, but I'm kind of done with it. I'm already bored, and you guys might be too. So I am going to move on. But I love stuff like that. I just find it really interesting, and it sort of hits both of sides of me, the YouTuber and the banker, because I see it from a business point of view too. But see, I can't do it. I couldn't work. If somebody gave me a contract to sign, I wouldn't do it. I just can't. I'm really tough. I will tell you one brand I'm working with soon. There's a company that's sending a machine that makes stickers. And I'm kind of nervous about it because I'm going to do a whole video based on the machine. But I'm thinking the machine is really cool because I can put stickers in my journal. And part of my project is, I can't tell you, but there's certain things that pictures would support. And then I could make them and I could stick them. And maybe I could make some stickers for the channel and whatnot. I don't know how good or bad this machine is, but I'm excited for the fact that I can make stickers at home and then use them. And you could too, if the machine works and if you like it, you could just customize stickers and make them on your journals and whatnot and on your correspondences. That's exciting. So I decided to work with them because it's a compelling product that fits in the narrative and the zone of this channel. There was another company that wants me to do face cream, and they're going to pay like big money for me to do face cream commercials. And I don't think it suits me. I don't use face cream, and I don't understand why they think a fountain pen channel is a good place for face cream. But that stuff happens. Name like nobody else. Will it print out the stickers and cut them? Yes, that's what's so cool about it. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it works. And I will have to lean heavily on Helen to help me. Because if I were to do this video totally uncensored myself, I am bad. I have a technology allergy. It's why I love analog so much. I love pens. I love tactile things. Every other word would probably be an expletive. It would be a study in exasperation. But with Helen helping, supposedly I could put something like this pattern. I could scan it or something, and I could cut all around it, make a sticker. And I've been wanting to do Hemingway Jones channel stickers. I thought it would be nice to make them available. I need some merch, and that's a nice step one for merch. Write your way through it is my tagline, and I have some ideas. So that could come soonly, very soonly. So it's supposed to cut them out, okay? We'll see. Yeah, so by the way, I always like to mention, we're halfway through so I can do my own commercial. If you've watched up till now or listened to the podcast here on YouTube, my home channel, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'd love to just have you guys along so you see when I post something. I've been doing a lot of shorts. I do the live show. I do a lot of videos. I'd love to have you on the journey. If you want to support the channel even further, we have membership. And the membership has 3 tiers: Ambassador, Cognoscenti, and the highest tier, for those of you most passionate for supporting the channel, is the Illuminati. And for Illuminati and Cognoscenti folks, there's a pen pal group. There's a lot of people in it. I don't know how many. I was going to make an outrageous claim, and then I realized I don't know how many. But there's over 100 people. So that's impressive. It's a really nice group. Lovely. I get to write a lot of letters, and I'm very late. So there is that. Tom Cooch is in the merch. You will see. I'm working on it. I have a whole bunch of ideas, but I'm just so busy. I can't do it all. John Manuel helps me with the pen pal group. I appreciate that. So last week's video, I think you saw, was how and why to keep a reading journal, how to retain more of what you read. Thanks for supporting that video. I had a blast making it. You guys seem to respond to it. I think it's nice to come up with different ways of journaling that don't involve ripping your soul apart. Although I will always talk about that because that's what I do in my main journal. As you know, I've spoken about it at length. But not everyone is interested in that. And some folks are private. There's a lot of reasons why they don't go there. And I can appreciate it. So there are so many other uses for journaling. If you're looking for the Holy Grail and you're following Prester John and Joseph of Arimathea, and you need to know that only the penitent shall pass, only the penitent man shall pass, you need a journal to find the Grail. You could get shot. You never know. and the Grail will heal you. But only the true Grail. For sure, the true Grail gives you life. The false Grail will take life from you. So it's very important. So journaling has a lot of uses. Okay, this week's video is my top 5 favorite fountain pens, which I am absolutely delighted to share with you. Did I say favorite? I didn't mean favorite. I actually just filmed my top 5 favorite. It's my top 5 most thankful. The ones I'm most thankful for, which is so perfect for Thanksgiving. So it's the 5 fountain pens I am most thankful for. I did do 5 favorites. That's coming in January. And it is, I don't want to hype it up too much, but my top 5 favorite list, scrapped. Whole new pens, all new. All new and improved for 2026. So you will enjoy that. And next week is my final Grail pen. My final Grail. And what it is. You know what it is. It's PC Urushi. Pilot Custom Urushi. Next week. Okay. So I want to talk about a few things. I meant to talk about sooner, but I hope you found the beginning part of the show interesting. I was fascinated. But I hope you enjoyed it. First off, one pen. And it's funny, I put up a short about how the Pilot Custom 823 could be my one pen. And it's very true. But what happens with me, and maybe I'm capricious, is that I fall into these one pen ruminations. And then, of course, it circulates. So it'll never just be one pen. But in those moments, those days when I'm using one pen, I can imagine only using a Montblanc 149. I love both of mine now. Well, I actually have 3. I love 2 of them. The third one I'm just okay with. I love the regular ones. The 100-year anniversary one I put in my vault. I don't use it that much, but I do like it, but it doesn't have that same connection with me. I don't use it very often. But when I'm using it, I can imagine just using that pen. Another one is my Schaefer Legacy. It's so interesting. It feels like one pen. That's all I need. And there's a new pen that I won't speak about that's coming up on the channel soon that just blew me away. My Egyptomania. I get into this trap with that too, where I just love it, and it's all I think about. Let me take a moment to recognize Hazel. Thank you. $5 super chat. Love it. Hoping to keep the lights on a gray and rainy night here in Minnesota. Was the ink you mentioned earlier Rohrer and Klinger Alt Bordeaux? Yes, it was. Hazel, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. And I have to give you a virtual gold star for figuring that out from my convoluted memory of it. But that is it. And I have hopes. I have high hopes. High apple pie in the sky hopes that the Alt Bordeaux might somehow approximate the Bordeaux of the Mont Blanc. The Bellingham just felt a little light purpley and not enough shading. I'm going to try it again. It may have been the pen. Pens do express the character of ink differently. They just do. They're not all uniform all the time. So there may be a chance that could work elsewhere. So we shall see. But I do quite love the original Montblanc Bordeaux. So, as I get into leather journal covers, and I've been researching more and more for various projects on the channel and off the channel, and I'm writing, and you can smell ink, and you can hear the sound of your nib as it vibrates against the page, almost like the strings of a cello. Just as the bow is striking them. It has that friction, but smoothness and that beautiful sound. And in the way of a cello being tuned, that's sort of signaling to your mind that you're learning, that you're in this quiet space. But I found that there's different pens that express different parts of my personality, and different nibs specifically. I find when I'm feeling very meticulous, when I am getting into details or drawing, I tend to use really fine nibs. And when I'm labeling tiny things, I like to use a very fine nib, but it's a certain mindset then. My personality becomes a bit more attuned to precision and less about passion and flow. When I'm thinking more passionately or expressively, then I am more into stub nibs or abroad. To me, that has that certain panache, that kind of, I'd say passion, but also excitement. Or if I'm ever angry, I want thick lines. My flex nibs can be my angry nibs. I like to draw fat exclamation points, or if I'm really feeling very strongly about a topic and I'm writing away. I love the speed of a flex nib and bending down into the root of a G as it plunges down into the ground, into the next line, and then loops up as if it's growing back out. I love that. Only a flex nib can give you that. And it's that kind of abandon that you're writing with. When you need to get the words out and you want them to look how they feel, then I reach for a flex nib. Nathan King, my friend, hello. $10 super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for helping to keep the lights on. Great point. I have inks that I didn't like until I put them in the right pen. Pens can express ink colors very differently. It's so true, Nathan. And thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. I really do. Thank you all. The nibs and inks, and it's part of this feeling of expressing your emotion. Certainly, if you get a lot more of the ink, it's going to come out in a thicker, wider line if you have a more generous feed and a thicker downstroke, at least, with like a stub or a broad all around. So some inks, you can't even tell their quality if it's going through an extra fine. I've never tried a sheen ink in an extra fine, now that I think about it. I've just never done it. But I certainly have with the wider nibs and stubs especially. I love those. Some of my older pens, I'm a bit more adventurous. My Legacy has, from an emotional point of view, this very intense sort of masculine energy. It's a very aggressive looking pen. It almost looks like some kind of a laser or torpedo or something. And I love that pen. But it's now 20-something years old, so my days of worrying about it are over. It has an absolutely brilliant 18-karat gold nib. The Schaefer nibs, I've said this before, forgive me for repeating myself, but it needs to be repeated. The Schaefer nibs from 20 years ago in gold were nothing short of preternaturally amazing. They are smooth, they're expressive, and they make a fantastic scribing noise. In a recent video I just filmed, I turn everything down just for that magnificent, beautiful scrape across the page that doesn't feel at all scratchy, but makes that brilliant noise as if it were a quill across a piece of parchment. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. But I don't worry about it anymore. So that means I can put Darth Lilac in it with abandon, and then it looks weird. Have you used Darth Lilac from Lamy? You dip the pen in, you fill it. I never fill just my converters. I'm always dunking the entire nib, and often too far. I don't just go to the fill hole. I usually just plunge it in there way too far just to make sure I'm getting a good fill. And then you pull it out and it looks like some sort of a dying beetle, like some kind of a distressed locust or something. It has that iridescent insect quality, and it's beautiful and it's crazy and it's over the top, and it takes a bit to clean. Sometimes you need a little water to clean it up properly, but it does clean. And now I have the Emerald de Chivor in it, no better, from a kind of a crazy sheeny sparkliness to it. Never clogs. Haven't had any issue with that. The feed is so generous and so flowy. So it really expresses it itself so well. I just feel like writing as an activity is just such a a basic human thing, right? I mean, if you think what differentiates us from the animals, rules, Jonathan, differentiate us. It's what keeps us apart from the animals. No, not just rules, but you can imagine early man writing on cave walls. They probably very early in our development, they say it actually happened later with writing, but come on, I'm sure there were symbols. I'm sure there were taggers tagging their caves, in early man, right? It just seems like there's something so elemental to putting a line on a paper and bending it into a symbol that means something to us when we recognize it instantly. Reading's funny. When you begin reading, you're assembling letters into words. You're sounding it out. You're doing phonics. When you're an advanced reader, you're recognizing patterns of words and getting the meaning quickly. I'm a slow reader, but I have an issue with my eye. We talked about that too. Laura, thank you so much. $10 super chat. Thank you. I don't use shimmering ink because of the issue with cleaning. It can be an issue. It can, but it's much less than you would think. But I wouldn't necessarily put it into a Montblanc 149. I just wouldn't. I have Autumn Oak in there now. That's an interesting ink. And by the way, Laura, thank you so much for your generous donation to the channel. Help to keep the lights on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everyone with the super chats. So, with the Schaefer, it's super easy to clean that pen. It's metal and bit of resin on the where the nib is inserted. It's palladium. It's not that hard to clean. The converter is already gray. It came that way, so you don't have to worry about it, which is nice. One of the things that I was experimenting with in my journal is sort of differentiating things with different colors when I'm carrying multiple colors. So in here, I have multiple colors. I mentioned that my 149 has Autumn Oak. My Pilot Custom Urushi has Konpeki, which just radiates off the page. And my M1000 has Meiji no Iro. So it's been a lot of fun in my Gadel and Leather journal to differentiate different ideas and topics and things with different inks. By the way, you know what's really neat about this? It has such a character to the leather. There's like signs of the life of the animal, you always feel a little bad for them, but let's hope they live good lives. But you can see maybe a bit of barbed wire that they may have caught themselves on at some time or whatnot, and a little bit of wrinkle here and there, but it just has such character. And the smell, this is rich Corinthian leather smell. It's a really good leather smell, really good. Yeah. So it'll be fun carrying this. I think one of the interesting things too about keeping a journal is that there's a certain privacy. When you're sitting down writing, journaling, it's you, your mind, or what you're working on. Maybe you're pouring your heart out on the page. Maybe you're doing some research, but it's just you. It's very private and calm and centering, and can be quite cozy. A nice cup of coffee or tea and some soft music. I have music. I'm always plugging, right? I have music in the description. I have some playlists over on Spotify that I share with you guys. I get no compensation for that. It's just there if you want to use it when you journal. I just did another one. I haven't put the link, but I'm going to begin going forward. And it's specifically for journaling at night, because I am sometimes an insomniac and I'll get up and journal when the house is very quiet. It has different rhythms at night. I can hear owls in the distance sometimes. We have a lot of great horned owls in this part of Massachusetts, and they talk to each other. It's really cute. You'll hear them far off, and then you'll hear them in a different direction. Sometimes there's 3 of them, and they're triangulating. And you hear that at night. You can hear it earlier, too. Very nice. And sometimes the coyotes come into my yard, but most of the time it's really quiet. And it's just so nice when you're alone and you're alone with your thoughts. So, I don't know. I think it's part of romanticizing your life, which I think is very important. Oh, the lovely and talented Shaq MD. Hello, my friend. How are you? He says, if you're at the LA show, you should try my Pelican M1000 Predator Flex. I love the name. Love it. Thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend. Shaq MD, longtime friends of the channel, has his own channel, has absolutely lovely handwriting. Very nice fellow. Does amazing things with flex nibs. I wish I had that kind of talent. It's really amazing. And he utilizes it to make beautiful handwriting. So it's actually beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for supporting the channel, my friend. You are the best. And if you're in LA show, go see him. I am nowhere near LA. Nowhere. So I feel like medium nibs are kind of the sensible nibs. They're sort of like you're hedging your bets. Medium nibs are the kind of nib width where you're starting to get some really nice color representation out of what you write, especially European mediums. But you can still write fairly precisely in small. I have trouble writing small with broad. Most broads are so inky and so luscious that they just slide across the page. And for me, it's hard to rein it in. But a medium kind of balances both worlds. Whereas stubs are great, a lot of line variation, a lot of character to your writing. Extra fines can be very wispy. They're like whispers, like filament, like spider webs on the page. Very precise, very mathematical in how you can put and arrange your loops and lines. I like the discipline. I like who I am when I write with an extra fine, but I don't often do it. I find myself reaching for mediums and above. But I'm trying to push myself into fines more. Extra fines are grand. I love the 146. I haven't used it in a while. It's another pen I forced myself to put down. It's the one problem with having a larger pen collection, although mine has grown smaller. I got rid of a whole bunch of pens. Maybe a third of my collection is gone. It wasn't the best third of my collection, to be honest. Not for me. I mean, for some folks it might be. But that's how it is. Different pens resonate with different people and express different parts. I sent a bunch to my mom. She seemed to really like them, which was really sweet. And I tried to send one to a friend overseas, but shipping is so bizarre now that it was going to be about $100 to send them a pen. And then when they received it, they would have to pay a tariff themselves from their own country. And I would have to, I forget if I had to pay to send it, something on top of sending it. It was just insane. So I decided that I would just buy one and send it to them from a company in their country. It was just easier. Just insane. Lewis Little says, I like fine, but it's a bit too fine for me. Hi, Lewis. I can appreciate that. I was like that too for a very long time. I would encourage you, or challenge you, if you will. And thanks for the likes, guys. I see all the likes. I appreciate it. Challenge you to use some different nibs, even ones you're not wholly comfortable with. You'd be surprised what you end up liking. I've been shocked by some of the pens that I ended up really, really enjoying. So, David, are you being serious? David says that extra fine is often way too broad for me. Now, I know there's needle-nosed needle nibs out there. I'm thinking about pliers, mixing my pliers and my nibs, and some others, but that is intense because I have trouble with extra fine. I don't think in extra fine. That's why I like to use it, because it pushes me into thinking differently. And I literally feel like like I'm in a different mood when I use it. It kind of pushes me into being more detail oriented, which I kind of like. But, stub italics, super, super fun. In some future show, we'll get into sort of which fountain pen is the diva of your collection. Do you have one? Let me know in the comments. Is there a diva in your collection? I have one. I have a lot of them. This is close to one. This is a little diva. You got to pamper this pen. You have to handle it in a particular way. Be very careful with the door. You don't want to break it off. You have to clean it in a particular way because you don't want to gum up the works inside. It takes about 10 minutes to prepare to write. I know I'm not selling it very well. You okay? Yeah. Okay. But it's such a diva pen. I absolutely adore it, though. Maybe that's why. Maybe the difficult ones are fun, too. Oh, look, I just wrote on myself. This is a very, very flowy pen. This Bohème, Douai, Black Onyx. I love it. But do I love it enough to be thankful for it? Because that's this week's video. The 5 fountain pens I am most thankful for. That was very uncomfortable. In trouble with this. This is really uncomfortable for me. But this feels fine. I wonder why that is. That's even more fine. So, brilliant pen. But is it on my list of the 5 fountain pens I'm most thankful for in this week's video? We shall find out. And I'll be using this, and I have a Grand Voyager from Paper Republic coming. I'm super excited for that. Can you guess which color? I bet you can't. I bet you can if you know the colors, because it's obvious. This I'm excited for. And then my wife is getting one too, and we're going to compare. We're even comparing shipping times. Although Galen Leather was really fast. I didn't clock this one. I should have, but between my Paper Republic and what my wife is getting, we're going to compare shipping times. This I think came in 2 weeks, but with an emboss, that's pretty good. Pretty good. A little reading guide. Reminds me of the old PBS or Scholastic emblem. You remember that? When we were kids and you'd read all those books. Super fun. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments. Ooh, a little Pilot 823 love I'm seeing. The chat is really healthy. 450 chatters so far. That is quite a lot. Well, I'm rounding up slightly. We're going to go to a lot of interesting places coming up because I'm more and more looking into kind of dark corners of this hobby where some brands and pens have languished. I felt like I brought a lot of light to the Watchman Edson. I have another brand that I'm about to bring a lot of light to, which is kind of pulling out of the United States too. So the timing probably couldn't be worse. But there's always the used market, and I actually prefer the used market. The other thing is the Karen, which I adore. I love that pen. You get so much value with that. So there are these pens out there that are right around the $200 mark, a little higher, that are really brilliant. I kind of regret spending more than $500 or $600, and it's a shame that some of the pens that were around $8 or $9 are now $11. That's almost a bridge too far, just from a discipline point of view. But you can still get them on the used market. So there you have it, folks. Happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating, if you're in the United States. And if you're not, have a feast. Anyway, even if it's takeout. Sit down with your family, spend some time with them. Embrace connection. And take some time to journal, to research something, to read a book, to be alone with yourself and your thoughts. Unplug your devices, light a candle, read. Just give yourself a little attention. You deserve it. We all work hard. Life is tough. So I feel like I am at the end of an incredibly quick hour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've reached this far, please subscribe. If you want to support the channel even more, membership's available, and we have a pen pal group. We do, for the Illuminati and Cognoscenti members. So come behind the scenes, see what's going on there. So I make new videos all the time, including this Thursday, a video on the 5 fountain pens I'm most thankful for. So I can promise you, we will see each other very soon, further up the road. So thanks so much for watching. Happy Thanksgiving. Much love from me to you. Take care of yourselves.